It has been another slowish month of purchases here, but sure enough, I have enough here for a haul video, so stay tuned to find out what I picked up. Hey guys, welcome into another haul video here, haul video number 157. So thanks again guys for joining. As you can see behind me, I have done a little bit of reorganizing with my collection, so you might be able to take a peek at some additional stuff here in my Lego and comic book collection here. But anyways guys, welcome into haul video number 157. Hope you guys are doing good, having a great day, week, year, month. Probably should have done that in that order, but anyways, as I mentioned, this haul has been pretty much my purchases for like the month of April. I don't really anticipate purchasing anything else for the rest of this month probably, so what we're gonna go through here today is what I basically picked up. Yeah, kind of scrounged up enough here for a haul video, so that's kind of what we'll do here today. Um, so yeah, we'll go through the sections here. We'll start with the comics as always, and we'll see what else we have to go through. So yeah, let's cut to that. All right, guys, welcome into the comic book section here for haul video number 157. So as I mentioned, got a couple large purchases here, things I'll go over, but before I get into that, I do want to talk about what I've been reading, as well as kind of some updates on my collection as a whole. So actually, maybe I'll start with that. So recently, I did take a chunk of books down to Second and Charles, down in Newark, Delaware, to sell back. So I got about $70 worth of stuff for that, which is good because I can use that towards credit for stuff there that I might want to pick up in the future. So that was good. That was just stuff that I trimmed from my collection here, stuff that I either have already read or, probably don't need to hold on to the physical copy of because I'm probably going to read it online on Marvel.com. So, or I guess Marvel Unlimited. But yeah, so that's kind of my path for that. I still have a couple of boxes I'm going to pack up here. I did sell a couple of books to my friends, so shout out to my friends for taking some of these books off my hands. I still have some other books I'll be selling to them when I see them in May for the Philly Con. And I also did make one sale through Facebook Marketplace, so just a nice diversification, I guess, of my stuff. Obviously, I'm definitely not making back what I spent on some of this stuff, but any little bit counts, and for me, it's more worth the extra space I have freed up now in this room to kind of spread out my collection and make it look a little bit more presentable and a little bit more streamlined. So I'm excited with that, but yeah, so hopefully this last little bit of stuff that I'm selling back here will work out. And anyone who's watching this, if you're ever interested in kind of what I'm looking to sell or what I am selling here, certainly leave me a message or, send me a DM here on YouTube and we can discuss details. I'm always looking to sell to people. So that's just something I figured I'd throw out there. But yeah, so that's that. And I guess on the opposite side of it, I will talk about what I have been reading. So it has been a lot. As I said, it's been about a month since I've done a haul video. So I have read a lot in the month of April, which is really good to see. I'd have to go back and look at the page counts of everything I've read, but I'm pretty sure it's at least a couple thousand pages that I've read so far this year or this month, which is good. Why I said good like that, which is good. So starting off our list here, I did read the third epic collection of Wolverine, titled Blood and Claws. And this is officially Larry Hama's run on Wolverine. I don't know if it started in the second epic and continued into this one, or if it officially started in this one. But anyways, Larry Hama, well-renowned Wolverine writer, and really enjoyed his run. You know, really enjoyed the characters and the plot lines of this book. You know, we kind of get Wolverine a little bit more in costume and kind of teaming up more with some of his X-Men um, you know, X-Men teammates. So that's kind of cool to see that. Um, and we also saw, like, you know, the introduction of like Wolverine Cyborg and this other like younger like cyborg android character that the both of them I actually read for the first time. They actually showed up in the Wolverine, like the I Wolverine 2020 stuff that came out like 4 years ago. So it's kind of interesting to see them, like their origins in this book. So there's that. I really enjoyed it though, and that was the last epic for Wolverine that I read. Um, and then after that, I did go ahead. I'll skip through another book I've read real quick, but I also did finish up basically my Wolverine collection by reading Wolverine: Enemy of the State. So that was Mark Millar and John Romita Jr. Really, really enjoyed that. Really great premise. Basically, the premise is, you know, what if Wolverine was controlled by Hydra and basically went crazy and started killing everybody? So that was a really great story. We also ended with this other. There's also a one-shot issue at the end of this that kind of takes us through Wolverine living in a Nazi prison camp. So that was kind of interesting story to read there. But yeah, at this point now, my Wolverine readathon is done. I don't really have much in my collection for Wolverine, but um, you know, I'll certainly be on the lookout for some epics if they're cheap to pick up. You know, but otherwise, I may just look at what the contents are for these epics and just read like the issues on Marvel Unlimited and just say like, hey, I read this epic, so that way like I know I'm not missing any gaps. So maybe I'll do that. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of content with just where I'm at with Wolverine. I don't really feel like I need to read more of the character. Um, so there's that. I also did read a couple of little other books along the way. So I read JLA Power and Glory. I did show that, I think, in the last haul video here. That was a book that was given to me by my friend Vince. So I went ahead and read that. Really kind of interesting story. It kind of reminded me a little bit of like the like a Doctor Emperor Doom storyline where like basically like this god shows up and like basically the way it works, like this god shows up and like he makes like the entire world like very peaceful, but like obviously the heroes don't think that that's the case, and that's kind of what the Emperor Doom storyline was. Like Doom was basically took over the world and like eliminated disease and all this other stuff, but the Avengers were like, we still need to stop him because he's Doctor Doom. Um, so it kind of reminded me a little bit about that, but read that, so that was a fun little read there. Um, also read Kazar Volume 1 by Mark Waid and Adam Kubert. So first off, great, amazing art by Kubert there. That was really, really fun to read, and obviously the writing was great. I know there was like a second volume of this that was released, but I'm pretty sure it's like super hard to find, and I don't know if Marvel was ever coming out with a Kazar epic. Maybe they will, who knows. So I'll probably be selling that, so if anyone is interested in it, just let me know, I guess. But yeah, I read that, so that was good to read. And you know, kind of circling back here to some Captain America epics. I read Society of Serpents epic collection, which is kind of the first full epic, I think, of Mark Grunwald stuff. Really cool to see. You know, obviously the Society of Serpents is a very notable team, you know, kind of taking all these like third tier like villain characters and just combine them into one team. I thought the plot line was pretty interesting, and obviously, you know, the whole time I'm reading this, I kind of think back to when Marvel teased the third Cap film as the Serpent Society, I think is what they called it. So kind of glad they didn't go that route and instead went to Civil War. Who knows if the Society of Super Serpents will actually ever show up in a movie? I doubt it. You know, we'll see about that. But yeah, so read that, and then also jumped over to the Justice is Served epic collection. So, you know, really enjoyed reading that one. Again, just more Mark Grunwald stuff. This one had, I think, a villain called Scourge, I want to say, who basically was going around and killing villains. So that was a very interesting storyline there. And again, the reason why the epic was called Justice is Served is because every time Scourge killed somebody, he would say that. So that was a very interesting plot line. You know, for mid 80s, this is some pretty groundbreaking storytelling, I thought. And I think it's only going to get better, you know, because right now I'm actually reading the Captain America collection. So it's not the epic. I didn't pick up the epic because a while ago I actually found a large paperback called The Captain, which basically had the exact same contents as the epic. So I was like, well, there's no need for me to upgrade to the epic. The only thing that does bother me is that on the shelf they aren't all the same. So that's the only thing, but I'm willing to overlook that. So yeah, I'm currently reading that right now, really enjoying it. We officially have been introduced to John Walker, who's taken over the Captain America helm. So it's just really interesting to see this, you know, obviously the first appearance of these characters and the way these were fleshed out back in the 80s, because, you know, right in today's world, you know, we've seen, you know, Falcon and Winter Soldier, where we see John Walker kind of take over Captain America. So just interesting to see the similarities between the two. And really excited to read the rest of this run. I think we're only getting into the meat of it. So yeah, really, really fun so far. Jumping back here to some other things that I read. I also read Night Fever by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. So that was the last Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips book I had in my collection that I hadn't read yet. So all caught up there. I don't know when the next book is that they're releasing. I hope it's soon, because I would certainly love to pick it up. But Night Fever was amazing. It was a story about this like book person, like book publisher, kind of a marketing guy that went overseas, and he got into like a bunch of crazy shit, and like, you know, killed some people and then came back and just resumed his life. So it was just a very interesting story, like just the perspective of why they wanted to tell that story. So I thought that was very interesting, a very good graphic novel. So can't disappoint, right? There has not been one thing I read from them that I have been disappointed by. So there's that there. Let's see what else. I also, you know, it's funny, when I was reading through all this stuff, I was also trying to, you know, so obviously I was reading the Cap stuff, right? Because I have my ongoing Captain America readathon, slowly chipping away at that. And I'm also preparing for the Wolverine and Deadpool movie. So I've been reading Wolverine, and I officially got into reading Deadpool. So I read the first epic, the Circle Chase epic collection, which had like a bunch of New Mutants, X-Force stuff, you know, kind of his appearances in there. And then we obviously had his first full miniseries called The Circle Chase. So really enjoyed that. You know, it is kind of like, you know, early 90s. So a lot of emphasis on art and not so much on storytelling. But yeah, I really enjoyed Deadpool. I just, you know, I feel like he's definitely not my favorite character, and obviously there's a lot to keep track of with him. You know, there's just a lot of stuff going on, and just the references he makes it's always a treat. It's a very dense read every time I read Deadpool comics. So that's just something I guess I've been trying to get used to with him as a character, but it was very interesting to see his origin, and, you know, kind of some of the characters we see in the movies, you know, like Domino and Cable and Vanessa as well. You know, she appears in these first couple of issues. So there is some X-Force stuff you kind of have to sift through, and the book does a decent job of trying to explain it, because, you know, obviously if you're not keeping up with New Mutants and X-Force and you jump into this, it can be a little confusing. So that was the only gripe I would say I had with the book, is that you kind of need to have that background knowledge of like X-Force and New Mutants and what's going on with them first before you jump into this, because there is a lot of stuff, and they actually cut out certain parts of issues because it's just not relevant to Deadpool's story. So that's the only gripe I have with this collection, is that it's a little cut in certain areas and can be a little disjointed. So yeah, I'm currently on the second epic for him though. I'm on reading his Mission Improbable epic, and the art definitely takes a giant step up here. You know, we get into the age of computer generated like coloring and stuff like that, so it's a little bit cleaner looking. Um, and those are the only two epics I have of him. I don't plan on picking up other ones. I mean, I guess if I go to Philly in a couple weeks and I see an epic for a decent price, I might pick up his third epic. But right now, the third epic online is like $27, and I can't stomach paying that much for an epic these days, especially since I know I can read that for free online. So we'll see. Like I said, it would have to be a really great deal for me to consider buying it. But yeah, so at this point, once I finish that, I'm pretty much caught up, aside from the um, Deadpool Samurai manga that I have, which it's still coming out, so I don't see a need to read it right now. So there's that. But yeah, really enjoying all my reads so far. I also, this is the last book I read before I get into my haul, I swear. The last book I read, or I guess series of books I read, you know, as I was reading all these books, these physical books in my collection, I also did want to kind of delve into Marvel Unlimited and kind of see like what's available that I don't currently have in a printed form on in my collection. And sure enough, I stumbled across the Thrawn trilogy for Star Wars. They made 6 issues each for each book that came out. So Heir to the Empire, Dark Force Rising, and The Last Command. And I actually read all 3 of those books through audiobooks like a year ago. So I saw that the 6 issue series for all of them were on Marvel Unlimited. So I was like, let me just go ahead and give these a read and see see what they're like. It was really nice to like actually visualize the storyline versus reading it in a book. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Overall, I thought it was great. You know, I thought the writing was pretty good. The art got better as the series went on. Like I don't know if they switched artists throughout the books, but I believe it was the same writer for all 3 series. But yeah, I mean, you know, it definitely is different to read it in a comic form, because they obviously cut out a lot of like the just background discussion, monologuing stuff. So it does move really quickly. So you know, really enjoyed that. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been reading. So you know, right now, another book I'll throw out there that I'm currently reading right now, along with my Deadpool and Cap stuff, is Chew. So I'm currently reading the first volume of Chew. I read the first issue last night, thought it was pretty good. So you know, excited to read some more tonight and hopefully, you know, finish that series in the next couple weeks or so, because I think there's like 10 or 12 volumes of that I have to read. So you know, we got a good readathon ahead of us with that too. But yeah, 16 minutes later, that is my kind of read through here. And obviously, I think you guys might have seen that like I've been trying to include images of these books in this read through here, just again to kind of break up the monotony of me just sitting here talking about it. So yeah, with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into this haul video. So the first book I will actually wait until the end to show. But yeah, so with this haul, I don't have many books to go over, but I will say this first chunk of books I got from Target. They were running their, you know, I guess semi-annual sale where they do the buy 2 get 1 free for all books, graphic novels, CDs, board games, you know, like all those different things. They run a giant sale on that, and obviously that's kind of my opportunity to pick through the epics and see which ones I need to get. So the ones I ended up picking up here, first one I got here was Star Wars The New Republic Volume 7. So, you know, I know you're probably asking, Dan, why are you buying this if you have Marvel Unlimited? You know, the epic collections for Star Wars, I like having them because, number one, they look nice on the shelf, but secondly, these books have a lot of different material in them. So this one has Star Wars Boba Fett, Bounty on Barracuda, When the Fat Lady Sings, Murder Most Foul, and Agent of Doom. Star Wars Jedi Academy Leviathan, numbers 1 through 4. Star Wars The Mixed Up Droid. Star Wars Union, numbers 1 through 4. Star Wars Chewbacca, numbers 1 through 4. And material from Star Wars Tales, number 19. So I like to get these because obviously like it collects it in order, so I don't have to worry about jumping around between series. I mean, I'm assuming that the order that's listed on the back of this book is basically the order it appears in this epic. But yeah, I mean, regardless, yeah, I like having this as a reference point for me. So you can see here kind of what some of that art looks like. So a lot of Boba Fett stuff in here. I'm really excited to read this stuff. You know, kind of get some older stuff here as well. So again, this is the New Republic age. This is post Return of the Jedi. And I don't know, I just don't know how many more epics they're going to make of this. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Empire one that I have that I'll show next here, and I guess that's a good segue into the next book that I have, which is Empire Volume 8. I believe, yeah, this one says the Empire era concludes and A New Hope dawns. So I believe this is the last Empire epic we're going to get, which is good for me because that means that we can start going back and reprinting some of the volumes I missed, which for Empire, I'm only missing one, which is volume 6. You know, I have 1 through 5 and then 7, and now I have 8. So I just hope they reprint 6 at some point and I can pick that up. So yeah, you can see here some interiors for this as well. This collects Star Wars Empire 5 through 6, 8 through 13, and 15. Star Wars X-Wing Rogue Squadron numbers 1.5. Star Wars A New Hope, the special edition, numbers 1 through 4, which I believe I've already read. Star Wars Tag and Bink Are Dead, number 1. And material from Star Wars Tales, numbers 1, 6, 8 through 10, 12, 14, 16, and 19. So I think this one's a better example of why I buy Epic for this, because you can see here the material jumps around a lot with some of these issues. And I think it's probably one of those things where it's like, you know, like the odd issues have a separate story going on compared to the even issues. Some books I've seen do that. Like the one that comes to mind for me that's like that is Jerry Duggan's run on Guardians of the Galaxy. Like one of the paperbacks has like all of the odd issues in there, and then the next one has all the even issues. So yeah, I think this is much better rather than doing research to try to find this page. You know, I think it's better just to have it in hand. And you know, I'm really excited to read this. I definitely think a Star Wars readathon is coming soon. You know, because once I finish Cap, I don't know what my next readathon will be, but really excited to pick these up for a decent price. You know, basically all these epics came out to be like $20, because there's a third one here I'll show you too. But yeah, really hyped to get this as well. Just great to have 2 more of those epics in my collection. I would say that the era now that I have the least epics of when it comes to like original trilogy stuff is the Rebellion era. You know, I have volumes 1 and 2, and then 4 and 5. So I'm missing 3, and I don't know if 6 has come out yet, but I would have to double check that. But yeah, slowly but surely we're filling these out. So hopefully we'll get some reprints and I can fill in those gaps and we'll be good to go. But yeah, there's that. So the last epic I got here was a Ghost Rider one here. So this is Ghost Rider Vengeance Reborn. So this is Danny Ketch. This collects Ghost Riders numbers 1 through 12, Mark Spector Moon Knight number 25, Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme number 28, and material from Marvel Comics Presents 64 through 71. So this one I kind of bought just because, you know, I wanted to have some more Ghost Rider epics in my collection here. This is, you know, kind of early 90s. This is 90 to 91. So, you know, some really nice art going on here. I definitely read that Doctor Strange issue back when I did my Doctor Strange readathon, so I'll have to see kind of where that fits into this. And I believe one of the Ghost Rider issues in this double dips with that too, so I'll have to just check that out. But really interesting stuff going on here. You know, the introduction of Danny Ketch as a character. I also thought it was very interesting that they actually created a sub like Ghost Rider line for this, right? So, you know, obviously the Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider just says Ghost Rider on the spine, but this one actually says Ghost Rider Danny Ketch. So interesting choice they made there. You know, I'm surprised they didn't just keep the Ghost Rider name and not put this extra piece here, but because I have not seen them do that for any other, like, because there's obviously other epics that have other characters that take on the titles of heroes, right? But I've never, it's not like for the Captain Epic collection that they had Captain America John Walker, right? Like that wouldn't, you know, whatever, right? But really nice pickup here, and glad I got that one as well. And then the last book here I picked up, I got this at Second and Charles this past weekend. So, you know, as I mentioned before, I took a bunch of books down to trade in, and got a chance to just look around. Didn't really see anything crazy that I needed to pick up. But I was looking through like this little like table bin area of some bigger books just to kind of see what they had. And sure enough, I ran across the first compendium for DMZ. So this is Brian Wood and Ricardo Burchielli. So I got this for half off, got this for 30 bucks. You know, really interesting art going on here, and basically, you know, basically this is, you know, America fighting in a civil war, so a second civil war. So I thought that was an interesting premise, and always love compendiums. So you can see here kind of what the side of that looks like. I was doing a bunch of research on this before I picked it up. I did notice that the second compendium wasn't being sold on in-stock trades and was basically going for cover on Amazon. I did find it for a decent price online. It was 50 bucks through Midtown Comics. So my plan was to wait until the PhillyCon, because that's in a week or so, and see if I can find this second volume of this series, right? 'Cause this collects the first, I want to say like 37 issues, I think. 36 issues, excuse me, of the series. So I would need to find something that collects the last 36 issues. But yeah, I'll wait till the convention to see if maybe I'll find it somewhere for cover or cheaper, and purchase it there. And if not, I'll come home and order it through Midtown Comics and get it shipped here, just so I have the whole story, you know. But I think regardless, it'll be a good pickup, because between this one being half off, and then if I have to pay cover total, like I would only be spending 90 bucks for 2 of these, which I think is a decent deal to swallow, right? I think 45 bucks for each of these is a good deal, right? This is a big book. So yeah, there's that. And with that, that is the end of my that's the end of my haul here. So or I guess the end of my comic haul, at least. So yeah, a lot of good stuff, a lot of bigger books, and we'll go next here into the Lego section, which I'm really excited to talk about. So we'll show you what's going on there. All right, guys, welcome into the Lego section here for haul video 157. So yeah, have a couple of things to go over here. So picked up a couple of poly bags at Target, so we'll go through those. Also found another set at Target that was on sale that I decided to pick up exclusively for the minifigure, so I think I'm going to keep that one sealed. Got some stuff on Amazon. Found one of those sets for cheap or discounted on Amazon. Let's see here, what else? Bought a set through, I guess maybe I'll just show the sets and discuss where I bought them. But yeah, a lot of good stuff here. Not too much, but just I guess enough to make a haul video, so we'll go through it. So starting with the poly bags, I picked up the McLaren Formula 1 car here. I decided to go ahead and just pick up one of these. You know, as I deal with ever shrinking space in my collection, I have decided to just, again, go ahead and purchase this solely for investing. I don't think I'm going to need to open one up and build one, so that's why I only bought one. But yeah, really great build here. Really love these Speed Champion mini builds here. It's I've come so far from the days where I used to buy all the Speed Champion sets, and I don't know why I did, because I'm really not into cars, so I don't know why I bought all of them. But yeah, really cool to have that in the collection. So we'll put that with the rest of my sealed poly bags. I think I need to get a bigger bin to store them all in, because you know, Lego releases like 20 of them a year or something like that. So I have it's an ever expanding pile. All right, next one I picked up here. Again, this one I also only bought one of because I'm not a big fan of this series, and I did think this would be a good pickup because of the minifigure, and that is Animal Crossing here. So we have Maple's Pumpkin Garden. Never played Animal Crossing. I know that the new game that came out got like a lot of like you know, praise for its design and everything, and I feel like it was only a matter of time before Lego decided to expand from just Mario into Animal Crossing. So, you know, I'm really excited to see this, because if anything, this hopefully points towards them eventually getting the license back for Pokemon, because right now Mega Bloks has it, as I showed in my last haul video. So yeah, really nice little poly bag, and like I said, I only bought one of these, so I'll put this in my sealed poly bag collection as well. Next one I got here, this was the only one that I picked up that I got two of, and that is the Harry Potter Draco in the Forbidden Forest. So this is obviously from the first movie, The Sorcerer's Stone. It comes with a Draco minifigure, as well as a nice looking owl there, and a spider. And a nice little build there with a tree. So really nice build here. I love how Harry Potter's polybags include minifigures. I wish Star Wars's did that too, but unfortunately we don't get those. So yeah, really fun to get this. Like I said, I bought two, so I'll eventually be opening this up and building it at some point. But yeah, it also looks like it can clip and expand. So like if you wanted to build more trees and stuff like that, like there's some clips and stuff like that to kind of expand it and make it a little bit bigger. So let your creativity do what it will with that. So yeah, really fun little build there. Fun little build there. I think that's one of my favorite Harry Potter poly bags that we've gotten in a while. I know last year we got like the little mini build of the Hogwarts with Dumbledore, so I thought that one was really cool too. So nice to see that one. All right, next set I got here, also got this at Target. I bought this strictly for the minifigure, which I was able to confirm I believe is exclusive to this set, at least for now. So that is the Boba Fett mech. So yeah, when these sets were announced, I was adamant about not picking any of them up. Definitely not at the price they were charging for them. These were like an extra couple dollars more than the Marvel mechs were. Now granted, these ones look a little bit bulkier. They have a little bit more pieces. But I don't know. I just really wasn't a fan of these. And I think it's a one and done thing for Lego. I don't think they're selling really well, because I haven't seen any announcements about more of these coming out. And I think these came out last year, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think we got these this year. I believe they came out like towards the end of last year, like maybe August or September. But yeah, I picked this up exclusively for that Boba Fett figure. I don't know if that's a printed piece either, but if so, that's pretty cool. But yeah, that minifigure is pretty cool. It's funny, there's no pauldron for him that normally would come with a Boba Fett minifigure, but they printed like the plates on there. It's really weird. But yeah, this is just a weird concept for Star Wars. I feel like, you know, for Marvel it makes more sense because you're dealing with superheroes, and it's kind of like, you know, there have been mechs in the superhero comics in the past, so it kind of checks out. But for something like this, it's a little weird to see like Star Wars characters in mechs. I just feel like it's kind of silly. But that's just me, I guess. All right, next set I got here, I got this from Amazon, so hence the reason why this package is a little beat up. And that is the Marvel War Machine mech armor. And also, I did confirm with this one as well that this is a new minifigure for War Machine. So really hyped to get that. You know, obviously I'm a big Iron Man fan and also a big War Machine fan. So this mech is going to be really fun to build and possibly display here with my War Machine collection, or maybe just put it here with my Iron Man stuff. But yeah, really love this build. Really love that minifigure. I really dig the red eyes on the minifigure. I feel like that's a really nice touch. Kind of gives it that extra edge. So really nice. It's using that new mask, that new helmet mold. So I think that's gonna look really nice on this character. But yeah, pick this up for 20% off, which I thought was a good deal. Okay, some of the bigger sets I got here. This next set I picked up at Target, and that is the Family Tree. So this set originally came out for 80 bucks, and I was like, whoa, that's really expensive for a small little tree like this. Sure enough, I waited, and they had this like random sale. I forget when it was, but it was a couple weeks ago. They had a random sale on some sets, and this one was 30% off. So I got this for, I want to say like $56 or something like that, which I think is a much better deal. You know, this comes with 1,040 pieces, and this I bought solely because I thought this would go really good with the bonsai tree that I have in a case out in our living room area. So my plan was to build this, get a case for it, and then also buy some, you know, order some smaller pictures of Monica, my family, and her family, and just put it on this tree and kind of, you know, display that. I think that's a nice little homey touch type of decoration. Obviously Lego was playing right into, you know, so this is kind of what that would look like, you know, once you build it, and it comes with all these clips and you can put little photos on it. So I think that's gonna be really fun to do that and to kind of pick out the pictures and display it. So that's my plan with this. But overall, a really fun build. I love the tree design. I love the colors they use, and just really excited to build this and display it with all the pictures. So fun stuff there. All right. Next one I got here was a set I bought at the Lego store. So a couple weeks ago, I went to the Lego store with my fiance, and we were just shopping around. And actually, I walked into the Lego store, looked around, and decided not to buy anything. And then we decided to walk around the mall some more. So then I started thinking, I'm like, well, I do have like 50 VIP points, so I could use some VIP points today. So that would make me purchasing something feel a little bit better. So I did end up doing that, and sure enough, I went ahead and picked up the Lego Executor Super Star Destroyer set. So this one has been out for over a year now, and I've been checking like every day almost, not every day, but usually at least once a week on this set to see if it ever jumps down in price, because this is originally $70, so I was hoping and praying for it to get down to like that $56 mark, right, which would be like the 26 or 20% off area, right? And that was when I was gonna wait to pull the trigger on something like this. And for some reason, it just has not gone on sale yet. I'm sure it will at some point this year. But you know, getting towards the halfway through the year here, I don't want to play with fire when it comes to availability. And this set I know for sure could easily just disappear and never come back. So went ahead and just picked it up. You know, paid the $70, but then got $40 off of it, so only ended up spending $30 on this, which I think, again, that was kind of the reason why I bought this, right? I wasn't going to pay full price for this, but this is an amazing set, right? This is obviously Darth Vader's, you know, flagship that he uses in episodes 5 and 6, so you know, you can see here kind of what that looks like. I think it's hilarious, though, because you know, they show some stuff, like obviously, you know, this is linked to the 40 years of Return of the Jedi, you know, since this came out last year in 2023, so 40 years of Return of the Jedi. And I think it's funny because, number one, this set didn't first appear in Return of the Jedi. This showed up for the first time in episode 5, right? So if anything, this should be a Empire Strikes Back set. but since it did appear in the second one, they're like, okay, well, we'll just do that and call it a day, right? So I'm like, whatever. And then I keep looking at the box, and sure enough, the picture they used to show the like the similarities in scale and design with this, sure enough, the picture they use for this is the picture when the A-wing crashes into the executor, and it actually goes and crashes into the Death Star too. I think that's hilarious. I don't know if that was intentional or if the designers just totally forgot, missed the thing that this is. Again, this is like, you can see it, like the flame coming from the bridge. That's when, you know, the A-wing crashed in and destroyed, you know, took out the main bridge. So then it crashed. So I think that's really hilarious. And you know, regardless, I'm really looking forward to building this. I love how they added the little Star Destroyers to show the scale of just how massive this thing is. But yeah, really, really hype build. You know, eventually I'll probably end up getting some of the mini scale sets, the other ships that came out this year, like the Invisible Hand and the Tantive 4, or I don't know how you say it. I've heard people say Tantive and then Tantive. I think it's Tantive. I'll get those two. I'm still on the fence if I want to get the Millennium Falcon or not. I'm certainly not paying the full price for any of those. I'm certainly going to wait for a sale for those. I'm not spending $80 for those. I think the Invisible Hand is $50, which I think is actually a reasonable price. So there's that. But yeah, I do want to buy those, and I do have some plans on how I want to display them here in this room. So hopefully we'll see how that shakes out. But I actually did buy a stand for that set a while ago because I was planning on buying it and displaying it with the rest of my like diorama sets and everything. But I think I'll wait to see kind of how that shapes out, and, you know, if I pick up the other ones, how those will look. So more to come, but just wanted to explain that there. And then the last that I got here, this was, you know, when I was at LEGO Store, I was actually between two different sets as to which one I was going to pick up. And sure enough, I went ahead and looked this set up here that I'm going to show online. And I actually found this for 20% off on Target.com. So I was like, great, I can purchase that through there. And then I can buy the Executor, and I can feel, you know, I can feel like I saved the maximum amount of money I could, right? So that set that I picked up is the Great Wave art set here. So first off, this box is massive. You can see just how thick this box is and just how big this box is. It's also a very heavy box. So yeah, this is going to be a treat to build. You know, I've been doing a lot of redecorating here. Monica and I have both been doing a lot of redecorating and continuing to redecorate a little bit in our apartment. So I've actually moved some of my other art sets into this room. They used to be in our bedroom, so I took those out of there, and in its place, I'm actually going to build this and display it where I took the art away. I feel like this kind of fits our bedroom aesthetic a little bit more than Iron Man and Darth Vader do. So there's that. But yeah, this is going to be a really fun build. You can see here kind of what that looks like. A lot of interesting part selection going into this, right? So we have like leaf pieces kind of showing the waves, and then also some bird pieces being used as waves detailing. So yeah, this is gonna be a really fun build, and obviously this is a very iconic image, you know, in history and art. So this will be very fun. And I got this again for $80 instead of $100. When this set came out, I think this was released beginning of last year. So sure enough, I've waited over a year into its lifespan to pick it up, and really hyped to get this. So this will be a really fun treat. I kind of want to build this tonight, but I have a lot of options now to build at least. So we'll see. At least I do feel like I want to build this though, because at least I know where this will go, you know, once I finish it. So there is that. And with that, we have finally reached the end of my LEGO haul at times. So, you know, a lot of good stuff here, and certainly a lot of stuff that I can invest in too. So slowly but surely, I have a pile of investment sets that I need to take and organize into a bin. So we'll see how those go. But yeah, otherwise that has been my Lego haul here, guys. Hope you enjoyed that, and let's go ahead and close out this video. Alright guys, so thank you so much for watching this video. Like I said, not a lot of stuff, but a lot of good pickups and a lot of things that I was really looking forward to getting, and certainly will get a lot of enjoyment out of. So there's that. I don't think I officially talked about it on these haul videos, but definitely go and check out my Meat Man comics that I've been posting once every month. Put a lot of work into those, and I hope you guys find those funny and enjoyable. They're just 1-minute web comics there. So there's that too. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy this haul video, and until next time, I will see you guys on the flip side. Peace.